everyone. Thank you so much for joining our webinar about Beyond Your LLM. We get asked a lot, what do we offer careers-wise? What do we offer internship-wise, qLegal-wise, alumni-wise, things like that. So that's what we're here to talk to you about. Hope wherever you are, it's lovely and sunny. It's lovely and sunny in London today. So hope it's the same for all of you. So I'm here with Dara, who's going to talk to you guys about careers, and Emily, who's going to talk to you about qLegal. My name is Karina. I am the Senior Marketing and Communications Officer for the School of Law. And if you have any questions throughout the presentation, feel free to put them in the chat and we'll get to them at the end of the presentation. But I'll hand it over to you, Dara.
Thank you very much, Karina. Hello, everybody. As Karina said, it's very nice and sunny in London town today. So welcome to our talk. So the next slide, Karina. I'd just like to introduce to you the PG Law Careers team. We're very lucky at the Centre for Commercial Studies to have a dedicated law careers team. So we look after the postgraduate lawyers. So you have a dedicated team for you. Just to introduce myself, I'm Dara Vexter, a careers consultant here. I'm a solicitor. I've been in practice for about 30 years and then decided to change my career to be on the advising side. I worked for 5 years in a large international law firm, and then I moved to an in-house role, which I thoroughly enjoyed. So that's me. My colleague Sarah Singh, you'll see her picture there. Sarah is a law graduate, master's graduate, and an international student herself, so she understands the international student perspective. And we feel that we offer a great combination for our different skill sets to help you with your career studies and pathways. Lynn Diep on the left there, she's our career mentoring and work experience officer. Lynn does a fantastic mentoring program, which I'll speak to you about shortly, and also any work experience or internship opportunities she promotes throughout the year for students to take up. Thank you. So first we're talking about Lynn's area, so the Mentoring and Work Experience Scheme. So the Postgraduate Law Mentoring Programme is a fantastic programme. It enables students to be matched to mentors who are legal practitioners or maybe working in aligned legal fields, having sort of regular meetings, and enables the mentors to give great support to the students throughout their time. It provides networking opportunities and practical insights into the actual UK market and also sometimes the international legal market. I know that Lynn does have international mentors as well, which helps students who want to maybe work overseas after their masters. And also mentors are very good with their time to help with the CVs and applications if students are interested in a particular area that they're specialist in. So there is an application process, which Lynn gives lots of details about. She gives full sort of sessions to help you complete those applications, and then you just have to be aware of the deadlines. But there's plenty of time when you arrive to get yourself knowledge of the programme and how to apply. She also sends out the bi-weekly employability newsletter, which lets you know of any opportunities, as I mentioned, internships, work experience that you can apply for. And also she does try and arrange short internships and externships for students at the end of their course. This is something she's working on at the moment, so hopefully there'll be new things for next semester. Thank you. So moving on to our side of things. So basically, Sarah and I are here to do our very best to help you achieve your career goals. So obviously, when you come to study at the beginning, it's quite overwhelming. You have to get used to London, the course, the modules, but we say we give you a great introduction for careers as you start, and just start to think about it early on, just a little bit every day maybe, or every week. Nothing too much in the first semester because you have so much to do. But the main thing to know is that we are here to support you. So how do you access our support? We provide 25-minute one-to-one appointments. These can either be in person at CCLS or online if that's more suitable for you. This is a great opportunity at the beginning to just come and talk to us about what it is you think you'd like to do, how can you go about getting some information, thinking about networking at an early stage. So we really encourage you to sort of book appointments in the first sort of 2 or 3 months just to get an understanding of what you want to do and how we can help you. We also give you an hour slot practice interview, which I know students find very helpful, particularly if they're going to assessment centres or just an interview for a law firm, a chance to rehearse some questions in a calm environment. So that's available to you as well. We provide a full programme of professional skills workshops. So these are workshops on such topics as the CV and cover letter, how to write an application, to the interview skills, how to brand and have a good LinkedIn profile, all those sorts of skills, and also employer events, which I'll go into a bit more detail later. We have a PG Law Careers page on QM Plus, which is all the information is there for you. And that includes a very long digital PG Law Careers guide, which we don't expect you to read immediately, but has lots of interesting resources in there about cover letters, templates for CVs, all sorts of things. So it's just a really useful resource which you can look at when you're doing your studies. Thank you. So that's just a nice page to show you that the careers and enterprise support is a central careers hub with lots of information on there. So you have access to the central careers as well as your own dedicated career support at CCLS. Thank you. So what do we supply in the central careers? This is just a shot of what there is on the website. As you can see, there's lots of resources there. A lot of law firms now require psychometric tests, so we give you opportunities to practice the psychometric tests through two platforms, Graduate Test and Job Test Prep, or Graduate First Job Test Prep. There's lots of information on the website, so we just encourage you to have a browse when you come just to get familiar with how it all works. Thank you. And so here we have some online resources that you can explore. There are legal guides, but also you can look at the CV and cover letter guides, application advice, interview advice, lots of things there that you can look at yourself, maybe have a look at before you come to an appointment with us or maybe after an appointment. But just to say that the Central Careers and Enterprise website has a lot of information on there that you can make use of. Thank you. Okay, so let's move on to the exciting part of the events program that we run. So every semester, Sarah and I try to think of inviting law firms to come and talk to students to give them a feel for A, how they apply for the law firms, and B, what it's like to work in these law firms. So in the past, we've had Evershed Sutherland come talk about their sort of interviews and applications. Linklaters, Hogan Lovells are a regular. And this semester coming up, we're hopefully going to have Latham Watkins coming to talk to us about their graduate recruitment process. We also have talks by the likes of Barbary and PBP, University of Law, to talk about if you want to take the solicitor's qualifying exam, how do you go about it? What sort of courses do they offer? Just to give you a little snapshot of what this last semester has been like, we've started a nice series of careers alumni events. So the first one kicked off with an IP and TMT event where we had about 15 alumni coming and about 45 students, which was a lovely number because it enabled the students to actually get to talk to the alumni. It was over nice socializing drinks. We had people from Reed Smith. There was a lawyer from Google, and somebody who's a paralegal with Iron Maiden, the rock group, which was very popular. But we found this was a very good event because, you know, you could move around to the different alumni, have a nice chat, find out lots of information. How did they get to where they got to? So students found that format very useful. Then another event we held about a month ago was with the arbitration lecturer, Maria Fanu, and that was at Latham Watkins. So we were invited to their offices. We met with one of the partners there and we invited other alumni. And there again, the students all turned up very smart and were able to talk to the alumni and the people from Latham Watkins and find out the sort of work they do. And we found that was a great event as well. So we're continuing to arrange a series of events in different disciplines. We're hopefully going to do one in competition law and banking law. But the idea is that the LLM programs will have a lot of students who are interested in a particular area. We'll get together a great alumni so that you can talk to them and make the most of that event. Thank you. We also ran a while ago an in-house law panel because obviously not everybody wants to work in a private law firm. And as you can see, there's some of the names who were involved in that alumni panel. These events often take the format of 6 alumni come along, talk for about an hour to students about their career journey, tips, etc. And then we have the networking drinks afterwards, where students can talk to the alumni and make contacts and connect on LinkedIn. So they're particularly useful. And then we did another session, which was called Practicing Law Around the World, which was great because although it was online, we had to do the time differences and we had people from offices. We had Latham Watkins, Beijing, I think it was, Linklaters in America, everyone from around the world. So they were giving their perspective of what it's like to work in an international law firm, which I think students found interesting too. So another couple of talks we had this semester, which were interesting for those IP lawyers amongst you. A trainee trademark attorney from Bird & Bird came to talk about the world of trademarks, and she's a member of the Chartered Institute of Trademark Attorneys, which is another pathway you can qualify if you want to work in that field. And then sometimes we also have legal recruiters come to talk to students. The one that came this time was the Stephen James Partnership, a very successful recruiter, and they talk to students about getting that first paralegal role once the master's is over, to see how they can start their legal career in the UK. So all the time, Sarah and I are trying to plan events that we think students will gain a lot of insight into the legal profession here and help them with their journey. Thank you. The course rep program is a great program. We do encourage students when they come to become a course rep, because that gives them the opportunity to invite speakers to come to CCLS, talk to the cohort of LLMs in that particular discipline. And I know that some of the course reps have been very good about getting together a program events for their particular students. So you can see on the slide there just some events that have happened in the past, but definitely try and get involved as a course rep. Thank you. Right, I think that's me for careers, but obviously I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have on anything I've said or anything careers related. So I'll hand back to Emily now. Thank you.
Hi everyone, so welcome. I'm Emily, I'm the Operations Manager at qLegal, and we are the pro bono business law clinic at the Centre for Commercial Law Studies. And the aim of our programme is to provide you postgrad students with practical legal experience to really complement what you're studying in your academic subjects. Okay, so if we can change slides, please. We are the award-winning commercial law clinic. So we have recently won the Commercial Impact Award at LexisNexis. And our aim is to provide you students with fantastic legal experience, but also to support innovative and impactful startups and entrepreneurs. We offer a whole range of programs for you to get involved with. And the idea is that you learn by doing. It's part of a clinical legal education program. You learn effectively on the job. So we train you, we provide you with fantastic opportunities to work with real clients, to enhance your legal skills, and then we provide an opportunity for you to reflect on those skills with a view to you discussing and shouting about your qLegal experience in your job applications. You can join us on one of our credit-bearing modules or as an extracurricular activity. And just to bring that all together, our aim is to bridge the skills gap between what you learn in the classroom and what you will be doing in practice. Thank you. Okay, so who are we? We are a team of varied backgrounds. So we are a mixture of lawyers from private practice, barristers who have practiced internationally. We are academics. We have teaching experience. We have legal tech experience. We are yoga teachers. We are coaches. And we take a holistic approach to the experience we offer you. We are headed up by Karen Wotton, and then the rest of the people on screen are responsible for the day-to-day running of our different programs. Just in terms of my background, so I've been at qLegal for 5 years now, and I lead on the legal advisory program. And prior to joining qLegal, I was a dispute resolution solicitor in private practice, so in a US law firm in London. But like I said, the people that work at qLegal, we have a wide range of experience, and we bring that to our programs. Thank you. Okay, so what do we do? qLegal is the culmination of postgraduate law students and they provide legal advice, education, and support to real-life clients. These clients can be startups and entrepreneurs, so people who are just starting up their business journey. They can also be charities or non-profits, or they can be local community groups, local colleges, local schools. And qLegal students will support those organisations with their legal needs, and the students will do that under the supervision of the qLegal staff team, and depending on the programme, also with the support of external supervising lawyers. The lawyers are from city law firms and in-house legal teams, and they love getting involved and working with students because it's an opportunity to mentor the next generation of lawyers, but also for the external lawyers to share their expertise and their insights into what it's like practicing law in London. Thank you. Okay, so just to give you a bit of context into the environment in which qLegal operates. So as I said, our students provide legal advice, education, and support to entrepreneurs and startups. So why do we do this? We do this because startups can't afford to pay for lawyers. They're too busy spending money developing their business, getting it off the ground, making sure that their organisation is set up. They don't have the funds to employ lawyers. So we highlight the free legal services that are available to startups, and we provide free legal support to those startups and entrepreneurs. Across our programs, we aim to support startups at all sections of their business journey. So we'll dive into our programs in a bit more detail in a minute, but broadly, what we do, we have a Future of Law program, and this is where we raise legal literacy, legal awareness within the business community. So we highlight the legal issues that startups should be aware of so that they know when they need to get advice from a lawyer. We do that by delivering workshops to groups of startups, having a website that is full of legal resources that startups can use to gain some knowledge of the legal topics relevant to them. We have a podcast, and we can run discrete consultancy projects for startups as well. Once a startup realizes that they need to seek some legal advice, they can come into our one-to-one legal advice clinic. And here, students provide tailored legal advice to support that startup. And ideally, the startup will implement our advice, they will grow, and they will need more regular legal support, at which point our students can be placed within a startup 1 day a week to provide legal support. That's part of our extend program. And hopefully the startups will go on to be the next Google, Facebook. They'll be able to they'll be able to pay for their own legal advice, and maybe employ some of our qLegal alumni in future. So that's the landscape in which we operate. If we can go on to the next slide, we can have a look a bit more about why you might want to join qLegal. So qLegal is an excellent opportunity for you to build your professional contacts in the UK. So in addition to all of the legal skills that you will develop, there are lots of other soft skills that you may not have other opportunities to practice. So qLegal is an opportunity to network with your peers, with people within qLegal, with the supervisors that we work with the startups that we support. And these are people that you will take with you into the next phase of your career. A real benefit of qLegal is that it offers context to your academic studies. So you might be studying IP law or corporate law in your modules, but actually it's all well and good knowing about what the textbooks say, but what happens in practice? qLegal will give you an opportunity to apply what you've learned in the classroom, in your studies, to a real life client. What actually happens day to day within a business? We do focus on entrepreneurs and innovation, but we also work with a range of clients. So like I say, non-profits, community interest companies, groups, social enterprises. But we have a real focus on clients working in the tech sector. So ed tech, med tech, green tech. qLegal will give you a real insight to what's happening in the most innovative startups in London. You'll have lots of opportunities to develop your professional skills and to use those to enhance your CV. You'll be able to make friends, you'll have lots of new opportunities, and you'll be able to use your knowledge and skills to help others, people who can't afford legal advice. Thank you. Okay, so what kind of soft skills will you learn as part of your qLegal journey? So you've got the traditional ones that all recruiters are looking for: team working, time management, drafting, research, stakeholder management, presentation skills. But we also offer additional, these higher level emotional intelligence skills. So you will learn lots of empathy, cross-cultural communication. You'll learn commercial awareness. Commercial awareness isn't something you gain by reading just by reading articles online. But when you're involved in a real business, in a real client, advising on real legal issues, that's where you get the commercial awareness that you can then talk about in your future interviews and job opportunities. There will be lots of opportunities for you to learn how to develop business. So there'll be lots of opportunities for you to meet students in other qLegal programs and how you can cross-sell what you do within qLegal to other startups and entrepreneurs that you come across. You'll also have the opportunity to learn about or use legal tech and to problem solve creatively. These are skills that many lawyers are looking for in their new recruits, and often skills that are hard to develop unless you're involved in a program like qLegal. Thank you. So some of the people we work with are on screen now. There's too many for us to have the logos of everyone, but we work with law firms such as Ropes & Gray, CMS, Sidley, Baker McKenzie, Wigan, Wilson Sonsini. We work with incubators, so organisations who incubate and help startups grow, such as Hatch, the Tower Hamlets Business Community, St Pancras Community Centre. We work with legal in-house teams, so GSK, Bloomberg, Go Cardless, Visa. We have local organisations and local colleges. So the ADA, National College for Digital Skills, is one of our long-standing partners. Every year we have students go in to teach their sixth form students all about cybersecurity law. So you'll be helping future entrepreneurs with their legal knowledge. Thank you. Okay, so how can you get involved? This is what you're really want to know. So like I said, you can be involved in qLegal either on one of our credit-bearing modules, and those credit-bearing modules are all 15 credit modules, so they run for one semester. We are offering 3 credit-bearing modules. The first one is the Entrepreneurship Law Clinic. This is where you will work in pairs to interview a real-life client and then provide an advice letter to that client. You'll get to use legal tech and you'll be supervised by an external lawyer. The second module is Public Legal Education for Startups. Here you'll be working in teams to prepare either a workshop that you will deliver to a group of entrepreneurs, or to prepare a legal resource that will go on our startup resource website and startup resource hub on our qLegal website. And then our final module is legal design. Legal design is a way of thinking, it's creative problem solving. And you will be working in teams to come up with an innovative solution to a client's problem. It's a really popular module, and all of these are first come, first served. You sign up for those modules in the same way that you sign up for any of those modules. Okay, and the second way that you can get involved in qLegal, so these are alternatives. So if you don't have any modules free, then sign up, apply to join us as a volunteer. So as a volunteer, you will work with us on an extracurricular basis. As an extracurricular student, you have the opportunity to join one of our 3 programs. These broadly mirror the offering in the module. So the first program is the legal advice program. So that's where you interview a startup, provide them with legal advice. The second one is our Future of Law program. And this incorporates both delivery of workshops, creation of resources, legal design, innovation projects. So that's the Future of Law program. There's lots of opportunities within that. And then our final program is externships. That is where you spend 1 day a week working within a startup, providing them with legal support. So you can only be part of one of these programs. You apply for it through an online application that we will launch later this summer. The application process will close at the end of September or early October, and further details of how you can apply will be on our website. I think we've already got a sneak peek of the following slides. So there is a really lovely video on our website from our alumni. They talk about the experience they had with qLegal, what it meant to them, what they got out of it. So if you have a couple of minutes after the end of this webinar, take a look at that video just to get a real insight into what we offer. And finally, we are not just about the programs and what you learn either in the module classes or as an extracurricular activity. We are a big family, so we have lots of other opportunities for you to join and to network with other qLegal students and the wider legal London legal network. So every year we run the Great Legal Bake. We participate in National Pro Bono Week, where we have a panel event with external speakers, and we participate in the London Legal Walk, which is a big walk, is a fundraising opportunity in London every summer, where everyone from law firms to the courts, we have judges, all walk alongside each other to raise money for the London Legal Support Trust. We run a qLegal graduation celebration every year. This one is coming up in June. And once you graduate from qLegal, you become part of our alumni. So you stay with us forever, for the long term. And we love hearing what our alumni go on to do next. And hopefully they'll come back and talk to our future qLegal students, but also CCLS students as part of Dara and Sarah's panel events. That, I think, is my final slide. Thank you.
Thank you, Emily, and apologies for skipping ahead. I accidentally clicked on the mouse and then I lost my spot. Just a couple more slides. So to briefly talk a little bit more about alumni, Dara and Emily have already mentioned all the great things that our alumni are doing. But once you graduate from CCLS, you're not just part of Queen Mary alumni as a whole, you're also a part of CCLS alumni. And we have a massive community with over 15,000 alumni across 100 different countries. So we have lots of alumni events. A lot of them are in person, some are online. And these are photos for some of them. Even now, as a an offer holder, you are invited to these events. So we're very lucky to have academics that will go abroad, and they'll try to host an alumni event, and offer holders are invited to that. So it's a really good opportunity for you to meet alumni, and to meet some of our academics. So if we're in your area, just keep an eye out on your email, and we'll send those invites over to you. And then this is just a short amount of countries that we have. So we have alumni reps in over 28 countries, and they'll be the ones that usually put these events together. Like I mentioned, our alumni team is quite busy, and there's lots of opportunities for you to be a part of it before you even become a student. So if you want to get a little taste into what the life is like after you graduate, it's a great opportunity for you. We also have on our website a list of upcoming events. We usually update them monthly, and some of those are online. So it's, I would definitely recommend having a look at that. But I think that's it from us, and we'll go into any questions. So, does QM provide any guidance on SQE exams?
Thank you. That's one for me. Well, yes, we provide guidance on the training pathway. So the route to become a solicitor has now changed in the last 3 years to involve the SQE exam. So we talk about how you qualify, how you have to do the 2 years qualifying work experience, and what the format of the SQ1 and 2 exams are. But as I mentioned, we sometimes invite in providers of these specific postgraduate courses after you've done your LLM to come and talk to you about what the course is like, what the exam is like. So we tell you about how the pathway works, what you have to do to qualify, and then there's often more detailed insight coming from these providers who come into the CCLS to talk to you. Hope that answers your question.
Thanks, Dara. One for Emily. Is qLegal relevant only for business law? Would it be relevant for a student pursuing an LLM in criminal justice?
It is relevant for any student who wants to learn practical legal skills and have the opportunity to build their professional experience. So it absolutely would be open and beneficial to students across all LLM specialties. The one thing I would say is if you well, the good thing about qLegal is it helps to open minds and open doors. So just because you are studying, for example, IP or business, doesn't mean that you can't learn something from working on a client case relating to data protection law or to corporate law or to employment law. Equally, if you don't have any prior experience in an area of law that qLegal covers, don't worry. We will train you and we will support you through it. So if you are studying criminal law, but you have a real passion for exploring what it's like to work with a particular type of client in the startup sector, you can gain legal skills. You'll get to develop those soft skills that will be relevant in whatever area of law you want to pursue later on. So yes, we are open to all on an extracurricular basis. Obviously, with the modules, those are only open to certain LLM pathways.
Thank you. I think this is in relation to the law firms that Dara had put up on screen. They want to know if they can work part-time in any of those institutes and law firms during their studies, and if you would connect them with them.
Right, so we do have some internship work experience opportunities, but the law firms in the UK don't tend to provide many of them, so they're very few and far between in maybe certain disciplines. The law firms have a very extensive graduate recruitment process, which starts often with the vacation scheme, which is either a week or 2 weeks, where you have to apply a formal process to get onto the vacation scheme. And then at the end of the vacation scheme, they interview the student to decide whether to offer the training contract, often for 2 years' time. I suppose you could call that a sort of internship work experience opportunity, but the student has to apply. So we're not able to actually provide them for students in the law firms. But what we do provide are these networking opportunities to meet lawyers from different firms, to meet them and find out about the firms. But the students themselves have to apply formally if they want to get, say, a training contract or a vacation scheme with the firm.
Thank you. Hopefully you guys can answer this because I'm not too sure. How do these privileges work with the students that study in Paris? Oh, you're on mute, Dara.
Okay, sorry. So we do an induction careers in Paris at the beginning of the term, where one of us tends to go over there, and we talk about what the careers service can offer. So the one-to-one appointments are no problem because they can be done online. So we often see lots of Paris students. I know that the Paris department do have alumni events for people working in Paris. So obviously they arrange those. They come to the CCLS building in Paris to make contacts for students there. And so we're working on, hopefully Lynn's going to be doing a little bit more with the mentoring maybe in Paris, but certainly as far as career support, as far as one-to-one appointments, practice interviews, those are all open to Paris students as well as English students in London.
And from a qLegal perspective, then Paris students are eligible to apply to join our extracurricular activity, specifically the legal advisory program. So that's where you're interviewing a real client and providing written legal advice. For the time being, that's the only program that is available to Paris students, and it's conducted fully online.
Thank you. I think this is in relation to qLegal. Do your alumni go on to become barristers?
I'm sure many of them do, but like I said, a really good thing about qLegal is that it opens mind of legal opportunities there are. So not everyone will go on to become a solicitor, whether in private practice or in-house, or a barrister. There are a whole range of other legal roles out there. We've had students or alumni now who have set up their own legal firms in their home countries or consultancies. Some have gone on to be legal educators. Some have created their own startups and been inspired to start their own business. Others have adopted legal design and really embraced that. So yes, barristers are absolutely one of the roles that our alumni do go on to play, but it's just one of many.
Thank you very much. Are we allowed to get any external internships alongside our course?
Right, external, it depends. Often international students, as you're going to find out, are limited to the 20-hour a week working. So that's quite tricky to work alongside studying. What we often say in careers to get students on thinking about how to do some legal work while they're studying is to do some legal volunteering. So as Emily mentioned, pro bono, there's lots of pro bono clinics in London, law centres where you can go along, volunteer, work alongside lawyers, and then get some develop your sort of practical skills there. As I say, there are very few sort of internships or externships that run alongside in specific disciplines. Maybe arbitration, I think, is one, but the limit of the 20 hours is quite tricky while you're studying. We have a great advice and counselling department in Queen Mary that provides advice on visas. So if you have any questions about that, about working before, during, after, you can make an appointment and go and see somebody, and they're very good and give you lots of help in that respect. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Our application is currently open for any extracurricular activities with qLegal for January start students.
No, we will be opening our next round of recruitment. So that is to start participating in qLegal in October this year. We will open those in the next couple of months. So keep an eye out on the qLegal website or follow qLegal on LinkedIn, because that's where we will announce when our applications go live.
Thank you. Are there any requirements to be considered to participate in qLegal?
As an extracurricular activity, the only requirements I can think of are that you are realistic with your time. So don't overcommit. We do expect a lot from our students, but if you put in the effort, you get so much out of it. We recruit across from all LLM specialties for the extracurricular activities. And I guess the only other thing is if you want to be considered for some of the programs, then you do have to be based in London. So for Paris students, like I said, you're only eligible to apply for the legal advisory program.
Thank you. Sorry, there's lots of questions. I think this one is back at Dara. I think they asked, this was someone I think who asked about SQE exams potentially, and then they're asking, do you help guide for bar professional training courses?
Sorry, do you help guide? Which ones you mean?
For bar professional training course.
For barristers?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Well, we try and help students to sort of navigate the bar websites and to see what courses and which providers are available. So we provide that advice about becoming a barrister. It is incredibly competitive, we say to students, but those that are really determined, there's a pathway there. Yes, so we can provide support and information about that.
Thank you. Can qLegal help me to get internship / part-time jobs with the international arbitrators in London?
So that is not something that qLegal offers. Yes, that is a discrete, or that's something that falls outside our services. Dara, I don't know if you know anything about this one.
Yes, I think they do advertise, and as I say, Lynn promotes any vacancies and opportunities for the arbitration, and students apply to them. So I have seen lots of students make applications and have actually got onto programs. But as Emily says, it's a separate thing from qLegal or indeed careers. But we support the applications and help them.
Thank you very much. Does qLegal provide networking opportunities with employers like law firms, chambers, and MNCs?
Yes, absolutely. So our focus is on you being supported throughout your qLegal journey by the qLegal staff, by students, by external lawyers. And every interaction you have with an external is an opportunity to network. So in addition to the graduation ceremony at the end of the year or panel events that we host throughout the year, there will be plenty of opportunities for you to network with externals and for you to adopt a broader approach and understanding to what networking involves and how it can be achieved. Yeah.
Thank you. I don't know if you'll have the answer to this. If I join as a volunteer for qLegal, do you know what sort of days that they would be working in?
Yeah, it depends. It depends. So as a volunteer, we say generally expect to spend around 30 hours a week, 30 hours a semester working on your qLegal activities. For externships, that's 1 day a week, and that will be set based on your availability and what the startup wants as well. So it's not something that's the same for all students.
Thank you. Can you explain a little bit more detail about the course rep program?
Okay. Well, when people arrive, there's a procedure to elect course reps. Some of the large cohorts, like IPTMT, often have two. And so I think it's a case of if you don't get elected, you can still help the course reps arrange events. So it's quite a flexible thing. I think people want to encourage people to engage as much as possible and help arrange events. So that's something just to look out for. We'll talk about it more in induction. But you can try and get elected, but if you don't get that 1 or 2 seats at the table, you can, I'm sure, assist the course reps to join in activities.
Thank you. There's some specific questions about pathways in international tax law, which I'm assuming we would know the answer to. We had a Meet the Academics. So I
Oh,
see a
good.
couple questions about tax law. If you go on our YouTube page, we had a Meet the Academics series about 2 weeks ago that I hosted that had Bernard Schneider, who is our program director for tax law, and he knows all of the ins and outs of tax law. So I would go back and watch that webinar because we don't have the answers to that, unfortunately. And if you have any questions, you can reach out to Bernard. He's always happy to answer any tax law questions. Do you have alumni working with the ICJ or the International Criminal Courts or such other UN courts?
Oh, I don't know. We may have, but as one of the benefits of being part of the Queen Mary Alumni Network, and you can connect with Queen Mary alumni on LinkedIn, is you can find out if alumni are working in these wonderful institutions and connect with them. So there may be some. I don't know personally of them, but I don't know every single alumni. So it's worth having a look, is what I'd say.
Yes, I agree. If you're an international student and you decide to work in qLegal, would it be count as working or would it be an extracurricular? Does it make a difference?
So I assume this is possibly getting at the visa requirements and the ability to work as an international student to work 20 hours a week. The short answer is it depends on which program you participate in. So some programs may your qLegal work may count as working for visa requirements. Some programs won't. You will be provided with all that guidance during your qLegal onboarding. And if you have any questions during the induction process, we'll be hosting additional information sessions during Welcome Week. So come find us, come ask us, and we can provide you with specific answers to those questions.
Thank you. Is it possible to work at an external company and participate in qLegal simultaneously?
This will depend on the visa requirements that we've just talked about, but also your capacity. So you are coming to CCLS to study. If you've also got an external job as well, query whether you have enough time to also dedicate the required attention and time to your qLegal studies. So in theory, subject to all of that, yes, it's absolutely possible to do all of those things, but be realistic about what you're expecting yourself to complete.
Thank you. Someone just wanted to make sure that the 3 modules are SOLM 213, 307, and 308. Is that correct?
They are, yes.
Perfect, thank you. Do you have any agreement with the UK IPO?
Shall I say, is that a legal question or a me question? We don't have an agreement as such, but we have got quite a few alumni who've gone on to work for the IPO. In fact, 2 of which I've actually met. So it is possible, and there are connections. And our IP lecturer, Apostolos Chronopoulos, he has lots of connections with IP students who go on to all sorts of places, EU IPO and the UK IPO. He very much encourages students to apply for the EU IPO program, which is a fantastic program. If you don't know about that, do have a look. It's an internship that's often lasts a year in Spain, and there's one also in Munich. So there's a lot of IPO alumni working in fantastic places, so you'll be able to make some connections with them.
Thank you. Here's a very specific question. So Kamalesh is from India and he has a legal startup and he's applying for the LLM in corporate and commercial law. What benefits could he expect from qLegal from an entrepreneur standpoint as opposed to programs that are conducted for LLM students?
So one of the things that you'll get to learn as a qLegal student is how to think like an entrepreneur. So again, it's not something that we can necessarily teach you in the classroom, but because you'll be exposed to entrepreneurs throughout your qLegal experience, you'll have the benefit of their expertise. You can learn from what they're doing. And there are some things that we will teach you in class as well. So what does it mean to think like an entrepreneur? What are the characteristics? And then from a legal standpoint, how you can make your startup legally compliant and make the most of the opportunities available to you.
Thank you. And I think one last question, can students on MSCs work in qLegal?
Yes, and in fact, we've had students on the IP, I think it's IP management, MSc, we've had many students participate in qLegal.
And we've got another question. If someone has 18 years plus experience and they decide to come and change their career, potentially do a different LLM, do you think it would be advantageous for them to join qLegal?
Yeah, absolutely. So qLegal is open to students who have no prior practical legal experience, and also students who have practiced either in this area of law, another area of law, and all across the world. So wherever you're coming from in your legal experience journey, there's lots for you to learn. As a qualified and experienced lawyer, you might be used to doing things in a certain way, particularly if you're from another jurisdiction. You get to learn how things are done in the city, in London. You get to learn from new perspectives, work with new people, work with possibly new kinds of clients on new legal issues. So yes, there's lots for you to learn, whether you've got 1 to 18 years worth of prior legal experience.
Thank you very much. And I think that's hopefully everything. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to reach out to us. And we always have webinars on all sorts of different things. So check up on our website for anything that we have coming on. But thank you so much to Dara, sorry. Thank you so much to Emily. And thank you guys all for attending. And we hope to meet you soon. Thank
Look
you.
forward to meeting you. Take care.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.